Hi, hi everyone. This is Satir Spasakaropoulos, and I would just like to welcome you this evening. I'm being joined by Rafi Chowdhury. Is that correct, Rafi?
Yeah, it's
Or
Chowdhury.
Chowdhury. Sorry, Rafi Chowdhury. And I'm just going to be interviewing Rafi tonight. Going to be talking a bit about uh, online marketing and um, internet marketing and different things like that. Going to be maybe asking them a few questions, if you don't mind, Rafi, to pick your brains as well.
Sounds good. Ready for it.
um, just for the audience here, if you would mind, Rafi, just maybe telling us a little bit about yourself and what you're actually doing now online. Would be great.
Sure. So I am actually a digital marketing consultant. I'm based in Los Angeles, and what I do basically is I work with pretty much one or two, or at most three clients at a time, and I pretty much handle all of their social media, digital marketing, backlink building, on page, just pretty much anything digital you can imagine, whether it's inbound or outbound. I pretty much take over the entire their web presence and try to get them more traffic, try to improve their social SERP, just about anything you can imagine, whether it's email marketing or on-page optimization. I can pretty much handle all of that, and that's pretty much what I do.
Very good, very good. What got you interested in actually starting an internet business? Was there anything in particular that just got you started online, or?
So I got into it when I actually launched my own website, which I did when I was in college.
Okay.
So I wanted just a personal portfolio talking about what I do. And at the time, I actually had a chess business where I was doing chess coaching and things like that in different schools. So I thought it would be a great way for me to talk about what I do with chess. So, as you all know, when you first launch a website, first thing you do is try to get it to look as pretty and beautiful as possible. The very next thing you do is to try to figure out how can you get people to visit your website. So
Exactly.
I started just basically playing around with it, and just then realized like one of the easiest ways I can do that is using Facebook, right, to drive traffic back to my site. So I started publishing blog posts, and from blogging I started just doing different testing and trying different things, got into Google Analytics and all this kind of stuff, and then it just kind of went from there. I just started getting traffic to my own website, but I couldn't convert this traffic because it was just people reading my blog and they would just go off my site, nothing happened. So I thought, what if I were to do this for someone where the traffic actually mattered and they actually maybe made more sales, got more clients. I got my first few clients just by asking them if I can help them for free. And if I did give them more traffic or sales, anything like that, then they can pay me a little fee. And that's how I got my first few clients.
Cool. Brilliant. Brilliant. Way to go. Um, Had you any, when you actually just started at the very beginning, did you have any mistake that you made, when you first started online? Because there's so many people, come on new onto the internet, and they come on brand new and they make mistakes. I know there's a lot of mistakes that I made in the very beginning when I just came online, and I just wondered, if you were sort of the same.
Yeah, so that's what A/B testing is all about. Just making mistakes, learning from those, trying something else, making more mistakes, and learning from those. I made plenty of mistakes, and I still make mistakes every day, and that's actually a good thing. I want to make new mistakes because that's the only way I can learn and hack my way into different things. One of the most common mistakes that I made when I first started is keyword stuffing. So I would write these posts, and I would try to insert my keyword 3 times in the title if I could, 50,000 times within the post, use the tags feature in WordPress and just put my keywords all over the place like that. I would even do things like, I used to actually, so I would basically change the text color to match the color of my website background, and I would put all of these keywords in there so people couldn't see the keywords, but I thought Google would index that and that would help me. But I soon realized like all these kind of tricks actually don't work.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so spamming is the first mistake that I made, I think.
yeah. I've been there as well. Got the T-shirt with spamming,
Yeah.
especially in the beginning. I used to do a lot of it on Twitter
Yeah.
the very beginning. So that was one of my big things when I started. You know, after a while, I sort of got into Twitter, and it just in the
The
beginning there was
hashtags.
a lot of
Yeah.
spam.
Right.
But what have you any advice? Have you any advice that you would give to a newbie that's just sort of starting out with their online business? They've never done any stuff online before, and they're just starting out. Is there any particular advice you would give them that you wish somebody would have given you when you started?
Hmm. The most important lesson that I've learned, I wish someone told me, is how difficult it is to make money on the internet. Right? It's not. There is no such thing as a get rich quick scheme. These things don't exist. It takes years to build a blog, get traffic to it. It takes years to generate any sort of revenue from that blog. There's many different ways, but you have to constantly stay at it. So I would say that expectations should be low because it's not so easy, right? It's possible, and you should start your blog as early as you can and start to grow it, talk about it, get your following, make sure that it's actually, you're producing value from that blog. But you shouldn't expect to make any money from it until, I would say, probably year 6. I mean, you don't even see traffic until 6 months to a year, sometimes even 2 years. And monetizing a blog takes a lot of time. Even if you're doing paid advertisements, it takes a lot of time to monetize it. So it depends really on what the type of business that you have. But when you're first starting out, I would say try to tap into other sources of traffic because you're not going to have it directly coming to your website.
Absolutely, that's definitely good advice there. And I actually had a friend, and he started a new blog, and in about 6 or 7 months, it was before all the panda updates and stuff. In about
Yeah.
6 or 7 months, he started to get it really going. But I mean, he literally, I think he'd something like maybe 30 writers, doing the blog, and there was like guest posts, and it was a weight loss blog at the time, and he got it up to about $40,000 a month, and then the
Wow.
Google Panda update
Selling what?
came and wiped it out and completely disappeared. But
Wow.
he made the mistake of spending about 120 grand in SEO trying to pull it back, instead of just going straight and starting another site again. He spent a fortune, trying to get it back, and it was dead, it was gone.
Mm-hmm.
So in the end, he just gave it up, the site, and did a new one. And then the same thing happened, 2 or 3, it took him about 6 or 8 months again to get it going, and then he was starting to make a lot of money, and then again another update came, and it
Yeah.
wiped him out again. So
Yeah.
it's not always a good idea to try and do it the fast way, to try and take shortcuts. That's what I definitely picked up from that.
Yeah, that's true. It just doesn't work anymore. Google is, every day they're just getting smarter and smarter. And I mean, there are still definitely gray hat and even black hat techniques that work. There's no doubt that you can still build link farms, do different links in different tiers, and some of those things do still work. It's just that even if they work for the time being and you might make some money from it, etc., in the long run, your site's going to get penalized, especially if it grows. Google really goes after the big sites. They leave the little guys alone usually. But if your
Yeah,
site's getting significant traffic and it's doing extremely well, they'll go after you. And it's just not worth it, I don't think. It's better to just build a solid blog from the ground up and just keep sharing really good content. Whether you're hiring writers or you're doing it yourself, providing value is the key.
absolutely, absolutely. Have you any specific goals for what you're planning to achieve in 2015 with your website, or anything new that's coming in the pipeline or anything?
Sure. So with my personal blog, I don't really, I mean, I write from it all the time, but it's not, you can say, I guess, like it's not monetized or anything like that, because the whole
Mhm.
purpose of my blog is just for brand awareness and personal branding. is what I do, and I share content, and I try to get basically I collect emails on this website as well. So with that, the idea is to just get it ranking as high as I can in Google for different keywords. Try to get more organic traffic. That's one thing I'm still struggling with. I get a lot of my traffic from social, but organically my site still, I feel like it's just not doing that well. And beyond that, there's no other goals for that site. Now I'm just about to launch another website for my consulting firm, basically. So that one is going to be, it's going to have a lot of guest blog posting. It's going to be, I'm going to try to rank it locally, that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a local business. So I do have some goals with as far as that one is concerned. But overall, my overall goal with the internet is just basically making my entire internet presence as large as possible. So lots of guest posting, interviews like this, for example. Anytime you can get featured or people are talking about you, it's called web mentions. That ultimately ties back to your site. How many times people are searching for your brand, how many times your brand's getting mentioned, social signals, everything. It's just like there's not one thing you can do. It's just a little bit of everything. And so it's a lot of work, but I do a little bit at a time.
Very good, very good, very good. Your main niche, that you focus on is just what you were saying earlier, really. And that was one of the questions I had, but I'll not go into that because you've already answered that question. But if, as well as that, the main thing, have you actually got any mentors or anything that you yourself looked up to when you started, internet marketing and stuff? Is there anyone in particular, or because
definitely. I actually haven't met some of these mentors in real life, but I've definitely followed the things that they're doing. Personally, I definitely follow people like Brian Dean. He's a blogger at backlinko.com.
Okay.
I follow Rand Fishkin at Moz, Danny Sullivan on Search Engine Land, Neil Patel on Quicksprout. Who else do I follow regularly? I guess those are pretty much the big guys that I'm always reading their content. Just seeing. Oh, Matt Cutts, another good one. Definitely have to keep up with him as well. But between Brian Dean and Neil Patel, those two people are probably the two biggest mentors I've had. I've read a lot of their content, watched their YouTube lectures and things like that, and they really have a lot of good stuff to share.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything you would specifically like to talk about or tell us about today, on this interview? Anything that you think would be of interest to the audience to learn some new stuff? Or
Sure. So I get lots of emails, messages on Twitter, messages on Facebook. A lot of these are actually internet marketers from India that follow me, and the other half of this traffic actually is network and affiliate marketers that talk to me and ask me different questions.
Cool. And
one of the most common things that I see with these people is that they're just buying these sort of cookie cutter systems that a lot of affiliate marketing programs sell. And since they're so new to the blogging sphere and internet marketing, they just think that, oh yeah, if I just do everything with the videos telling me, next week I'll be making $1,200 a month and I can quit my job. There's a huge misconception there, and it's one of the biggest internet scams that I think that goes around is just this affiliate network marketing stuff and how people fall into it. So to anyone that's doing that, I don't think it's a bad idea to do it. I do think it works if you know what you're doing. It's just that you have to lower your expectations, for one. And second, if you want to make money on the internet, it's much easier to provide a service instead of selling other people's products or selling your own even when you start out. So become a graphic designer and provide your services. Become an internet marketer and help people do their on-page optimization or link building, whatever it is that you do. Become, just about anything that's service-oriented that people can actually benefit from. It's a much, much easier and surefire way to make money on the internet than to join mobile, whatever these affiliate marketing programs there are out there that give you a website, give you your lead pages, squeeze pages, and you just buy some software to auto post to Facebook and get traffic. These kind of things are just very scammy, and people just don't fall for it, and it doesn't work. So that's one thing I would definitely like to share, is that before you try those things, try to sell a service, see how that does, and once you gain trust and you have a following, then you can start to sell products, whether it's your own or someone else's. That's when you should be selling the product, but not before then.
Absolutely, that's very, very good, very, very good advice for a lot of people, because there's so many people out there, especially in the groups and Facebook and stuff, and they're just peddling, complete rubbish, and the thing about it is, it's just like, it's so much noise that nobody actually reads or looks at anything, because it's just make money with this, make money with that, do this, do that, and it's like people make so much noise, and one of the things we do, we have like in our team, we've got like daily hangouts that we do. My mentor, he said, if you want to actually stand out on Facebook, just make a YouTube video and deliver value and post it in the groups, because it's like a complete shock to the Facebook groups, because there's just so much garbage. And it's like if somebody goes in and has a conversation, people are like, this guy's actually got something to say, instead of hitting people with a make money online all the time, which is crazy.
Right. But, yeah, it's just information overload, and you just have to do something extraordinarily different. And video marketing is becoming a really big thing. People don't like to read text. It's just, even science kind of shows that reading text doesn't really help you much. It's that when you can have an engagement or some sort of engagement within the content, such as video or infographic, or whatever it might be, but just reading bare text is just, we get so much bombarded with so much of it, we just start to filter everything out.
Absolutely. If people want to, find out more about your business or find out more about you and stuff like that, where would they go to find out more about you and your business and your services and stuff like that, Rafi?
Just RafiChowdhury.com, and that's spelled RafiChowdhury.com.
Very good, very good. And I'm just thinking if there's anything else I want to ask you. Yes, I want to ask you something. Have you heard much recently about the social network now, Periscope? There's a lot of people seem to be going completely crazy on Periscope now. Have you used that yourself at all, or
what is it called?
Periscope.
Periscope.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've heard that name before. I don't know anything about it. What is it?
Is that right? Yeah. No, it's actually it's basically a new new social network, and it's actually a live stream. You live stream on Twitter, but a lot of really top marketers and stuff have jumped onto the bandwagon, and you're meant to get an awful lot of traffic from it, but it is live, so it's a sort of different game from from just shooting a video on YouTube or something, because people actually interact and they comment and stuff on the screen. So it's a lot more interactive. It seems to me a wee bit different than just ordinarily doing a hangout or a video, because you can see all the interaction on the screen and stuff. But I just thought it was interesting, and wondered what if you'd heard of it, what you thought of it.
Sure. I think from what you're saying, it sounds like it's something very similar to a Google Hangout, like we're doing, right? Where people can, it's live streaming. People can, basically like a webinar, right?
Yeah, it is. But it's actually on Twitter. It appears, on your Twitter feed, and it only actually lasts for 12 hours, and then it disappears. But a lot of people are starting to come out with software now that sort of records it, and you can upload it to your site, like a YouTube video. But the video, instead of being on its side, it's turned the other way. So you actually take it with your phone facing upright instead of on its side, But I just wanted to ask you, just if you'd heard about it or anything, or what you thought about it. But
Yeah, I've heard the name before, but I didn't know much about it. But my feedback on it, from what you're telling me, it seems like it's definitely great, because people, again, when you're reading content and you're never seeing who's writing the content, you may see like their about page or whatever.
mm,
You people connect with you a lot more if they know about you, know what your life is like, know how you speak, how you act, and these kind of things on the internet. Because that's the only thing you can, know about a person on the internet is just their videos and the content that they produce. So anytime you can give your audience more engagement by talking to them in a live chat, or doing a live, like a hangout like this, for example, right, where people can come in and chit chat with you, ask you questions directly, you're always connecting more with your customers every single time, and you're building a relationship with them, which is, I think, it's huge for online. When you're trying to build a personal brand, it's really big. So yeah, it's not a bad idea at all, and I can definitely see why online marketers are jumping on that.
yeah, I think it's like something crazy, like 2.5 million people or something have jumped onto it in no time at all. Very very fast. So
Wow.
I did one or two just as an experiment. It wasn't even like a proper one, but just messing around. And literally, in about 5 minutes, there must have been about 50 people. There must have been 50 people came and sort of viewed it. So I thought
Wow.
it's a good way. It seems a good way to get traffic as well. But I've just been very busy. I've been very busy with sort of hangouts and doing the websites and blogs and stuff. So I really haven't got into it yet, but I will definitely do it, because I see a lot of people getting really good results out of it and getting loads of leads as well. It's a very good way to get leads, because people actually interact. You can ask them a question. You can say, what do you need to know, and they'll say, I don't know how to do this, and you can actually like answer them live online. The way we're on the hangout now, if you just imagine our video screen, suddenly words coming up on it, someone saying, how do you set up my blog, how do you get more followers, how do and people are actually able to ask those questions, and then sort of, you can answer them, just by typing in the comments, which is really cool. So it's definitely interesting.
Yeah. Now that you tell me about it, I think they'll have 2,000,001 visitors.
Exactly. Exactly, for sure. So so like I say, you want to find out more about Rafi, just go to Rafi Chowdhury.com.
That's correct.
Chowdhury.com, and you can find out more about Rafi and his business. Any last words you want to say to our audience before we?
Sure. Just keep going, keep working at it. If you have any questions, just ask people that know what they're doing. That's it.
Absolutely, yeah, that's very good advice. Thanks very much for joining this evening, Rafi.
No
And I'm
problem.
sure we'll be talking soon again in the future.
Sounds
Thanks
great.
very
Thank
much.
you.